still and quiet, and your sister, Charlotte, doesn't make a single sound. She sits in silence as she does, well, as she always does. This isn't the first time it's happened since you made this room. You develop a routine for when she comes here. You sit down and talk to her first. Slow first steps, the same ones you always take when you come back here for her. It wouldn't hurt to examine your surroundings for old time's sake. You decide to examine. The room is completely white and still with a single window. A simple, unassuming design that could easily deceive anyone who glanced inside. Even after so many years, it has remained the same. Same room, same story. It's the same with Charlotte. You've had enough of staring around. She doesn't react to you as you start to approach the chair. When you sit down, you enter the virtual world you created long ago. It is a hauntingly familiar room, completely bare except for the sunlit window. Just the way you intended when you created it. You and your sister sit side by side once more. How many more times will she do this? Crosses your arms, but you shake it away. She's waiting for you to talk. Just as patient as ever. Turning your head slowly, you pull up as much courage as you can. You examine her. Unmoving and staring right at you, her eyes tell you, quite unnervingly, that she expected your arrival. She looks thin, exhausted. Does she know you're exhausted too? She stares silently, and you know she won't talk first. I was told that you've been here for longer than usual. You're trying to not feel unsettled by her stare. This artificial world is one that you made for the both of you when you were struggling together. My coworkers told me that you've been waiting for me. They send their regards. You weren't struggling together anymore though. That's why you were the one coming back and she was the one who remained. You know, I spent 5 years spent making this. 5 years spent making a room that we can't even walk around. Your hand makes a gesture. We're adults now, aren't we, Charlotte? Surely your college classes are giving you enough to do than sit around here all day. Surely I shouldn't have to keep reminding you to move on from this place. She doesn't respond to your words. Lack accusation, but she stares at you like she's anticipating it. Already weary, you wonder if you should ask how long she's been here. It's hard to not snap at her, and you feel as though you will eventually. You ask, how long have you been here? Since this morning. You are so glad to hear her voice despite it being hoarse and monotone. It hasn't even been that long since you heard it. Could you suggest leaving so you could speak to her in a better setting? You aren't sure how she'll handle that. It's worth a shot, isn't it? The other part of you selfishly wonders why you're even here, bending to her will. The years have matured you, yet you feel as though you are patient. Your patience is already wearing thin. Maybe if you just stay silent and try to let her talk, she will. You've done enough of it already. Would that get her to respond better? In the end, if you want to play this game for yourself, of course, everything will be in the description, but I'm going to pick stay silent and we'll see how that goes. It's deafening. How strange it is to miss a voice that frustrates you so much. The silence reigns once more as you struggle to come up with a response. She is tense beside you. She won't say anything else. This always happens when you find her in the room. Perhaps it'd be best to think things through before speaking once more. Then again, perhaps it'd be best to talk it out before she slips away from you again and becomes completely unresponsive. You take a moment and talk. The breath you take in is shaky and you prepare yourself to break the silence. Why stay here? Those are the words you managed to get out instead of reapproaching her for acting so distant from her brother, the only family she could rely on. Don't you know that you have the choice to move on from this? To forget it? Takes her a moment to respond, and she looks so empty, staring at what lies before her. Closing her eyes for a few seconds, she looks exhausted, and you know her response will just be as terribly solemn as her expression. The more you stare at her face, remembering how her eyes will never truly look back at you, the more anxiety and worry twist in your stomach. You already know what I want to say. Her voice is a whisper, but just doesn't work the way you want it to. Frustration burns in your chest and your hands in a familiar way. The temptation to get up from the chair and leave her for good overwhelms you, but you don't. The moment you get up from the chair, all of it will disappear. There used to be an unspoken rule back when you first revealed the room to her. You would only stay until you couldn't hold back from trying to reach for the walls and golden glows from the eternal sunset. It was a hard slap in the face when you came back to reality. I'm so tired of this. Your anger speaks for you, cracking and tearing through the patience that thin too much to not break. So tired of you acting like this, like it's so hard to let go, and then you never even bother to listen. You're tired? Your voice trembles in the midst of your sentence and rises to cut it off. You're tired? You're the one who always shoves yourself into my life, telling me how to live with what we went through. You always told me to move on, to let go. The kind of things you tell someone when they've lost something that they can be forgotten. And yet you were the one who built this place, the one who made it so that we'd never be able to forget. You scold me for reminding you about this room and Mother. You told me that this room was made so we could move on, but I know the real reason. It's because you can't. Ooh, not like, yeah, but like, yeah, mic drop. The truth. She knows what you locked away deep within you. The truth behind the room, secrets that you wish would die. You refused to look at its bleeding selfishness for years and years and kept it hidden. You smothered it whenever it screamed too loud for you to bear until it would silence itself, only for it to scream again. It screamed the loudest in this moment. It screamed a word. Yeah. As you always did, you refused to listen. There had been nothing to fear back when you were children. You were protected in that small room that had given you the most memorable shelter. Both of you feared nothing back then, yet that was all you could feel now. You sat in the remains of your childhood, shrouded in the flow of the preserved ending afternoon, and a perfection that time would never allow. Just as you've done so many times. There was no longer anyone that you could scream at and blame, and you knew you could never do that to Charlotte. Once more, the two of you sit side by side in the room that trapped you for years. It will continue to do so, protecting you from the world beyond its walls. She will continue to come here and draw you back in. Your thoughts, stemming from questions and cries, are lulled to sleep in the silence. The sun will always be at the brink of setting. The darkness will never come. You are safe. You will never leave, and neither would she, even when all else falls away and you are still left with no words. And unanswered. Okay. So you get more than one ending in this. So, you know, like I said, if you want to play this for yourself and get the other ending, of course, everything will be in the description below. But I'm going to end it here. The name of this visual novel is called Happiness Death. So yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Of course, if you did, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And with that being said, hopefully y'all had a good day, good yesterday, and even better tomorrow. And I will catch y'all in the next video.